Fortnite is the amalgamation of everything that is unholy in this world.
I want to start on that. We'll start it on that. So thank you for coming.
Coming
to the podcast.
Just trashing people as we start.
Yeah. Nobody
Your
in
taste
that
in
age
video
is
games is
listening.
awful.
So thank you for coming to the podcast, episode 13, where this is the SQSA show, where we bring up some stupid questions, some stupid answers. Just to start from our left here, we have
John.
And Kyle.
Andrew.
Bilbo Baggins.
Oh, what you got?
That was pretty
the
close
bravest
this time.
little hobbit of them all? The bravest of them all.
No, old.
You look like a dwarf.
He's old. He's old.
is.
He's an old person in a younger man's
Dwarves are just
old skin.
hobbits that kind of ate their weight and just like
his 11st
Fish.
birthday.
a daily
Yeah, you
basis.
when is your 11th birthday? Why is it not picking?
11st.
Yes.
It was last week. You missed it.
Oh.
You weren't there. I was very disappointed. I drank myself to sleep and cried.
No, that was a Tuesday, Michael.
It's every Tuesday. It's every Tuesday.
Every
Tuesday is a new birthday to me.
That's why he's had so many birthdays.
Yes. That's why you're so old. You keep counting. You're so old you don't even remember what day it is. So every single day is your birthday.
Saturday is birthday. That'd be great. Parties every Saturday. Oh, God, that would actually get
That would be
Every
awful.
day.
You would be so sick.
Well, now we know why you look like a dwarf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every restaurant.
Oh, the cake I ate by myself.
Every restaurant you walk into, people sing at you.
Oh, no. That would be, that's hell. That's different.
Yeah.
No,
that's purgatory.
That's hell for both the person that is going there and the person that's there. Because like, oh my God, he's here again.
That's when you start trekking to Mordor.
Well,
They
there's
just roll out a TV and hit play.
there's different tiers of purgatory. There's the one where you walk in a big circle pushing a stone, and then there's the one that's higher above that where you walk into an Applebee's and they won't stop singing and they won't give you your gosh darn food.
Give me the rock.
Just all I want is my crappy steak from Applebee's.
Right there on the tray. Stop singing and give it to
I
me.
don't want your stupid crappy ice cream, please
I'm
God.
getting up and getting it myself.
No food until your public humiliation is complete.
That's the payment.
Yes.
And now imagine a minor eternity of that, and then you get to ascend to the higher plane where you get to go to Best Buy and wait in line for techs.
It's a
tech
minor
items.
eternity every time it happens.
You want to get a new mouse for your computer? Well, you're going to stay in Best Buy's checkout line for the next 45,000 eternities.
Well, that's why the people that state that it's somebody's birthday at a place like that is not the person who has the birthday. It's the other person that says, this is going to be great, do it. So,
Happy birthday.
Well, because that's the person who's paying for it, and they want that discount.
Yes. Maybe.
I want my free lava cake.
that went from Bilbo Baggins to Applebee's.
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, so our first section here is going to be a topic that each of us has brought up as a question. So, John, what was your question for today?
So if you got to pick your own coworkers, would you rather have people who are just marginally competent but are all you get along with really well, or people who know their stuff, you can depend on them, they can get everything done on time, but you're acquaintances at best?
That's my work right now, though.
Yeah,
Do I get along with these
If you got to
acquaintances?
choose, though,
I want that latter one. That's perfect. Like
Yeah,
I don't need
me
a
too.
rapport with my coworkers because I go there to do work.
they know what they're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
That's the most
Yeah.
important
Yes.
thing.
Yeah, especially
if
with-
they're not idiots, then like I'm more than happy.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be different if it was people that know how to do their job, but they're bad people. That's a different thing.
Yeah, that's different. Yes.
I used to have a job where I used to know a lot of the people really well, but then when you move jobs, it makes it hard because now you're not just losing coworkers, you're losing something more. And it was a lot easier going from the last job because I really only had one friend and I went to the place that they went to. So it didn't change much. But yeah, that would be really hard. I would 100% want the second one.
Thankfully, I have it right now. I mean, like I already said, so like I have a good job where everyone knows exactly what they're doing, what they should be doing.
Yeah, when they come over and they're like, Kyle, what'd you do this weekend? You're like, shut up.
Please, God, be quiet. I don't want to tell you.
Yeah, I had coworkers that I really didn't get along with in my previous job. They knew what they were doing, but I would much rather have somebody who's mediocre at the job that doesn't make me like regret life. But if it's just somebody who's just there and they're not making me miserable, then Yeah, I'd rather have them.
I think I love how your idea of perfection is just anything that is at
That doesn't cause pain.
yeah. Or no.
It doesn't cause.
It doesn't cause debilitating pain.
Yes.
There's a certain amount of pain he enjoys.
No, like just like what? A coworker who didn't try to stab me on the way into work today? Amazing.
You've worked in the tech field forever. Like, I doubt that you've ever come across somebody in your work who would stab you on purpose.
With a soldering iron specifically.
Oh well,
It's a slow burn.
no. I worked in a tech job where people were very backstabby in the not the literal sense,
soldering?
Okay.
but
Oh,
in the
figuratively.
A
figuratively.
figurative backstabbing, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes much more sense.
Yeah, I'm good with having nobody I care about.
Yeah, I mean,
When you put it like that,
If you're all replaced, but I've still got my job,
yeah, that's how the world works.
adjust my microphone.
I'm trying to think of anything more on that one. That was really
Yeah, that was
easy
a very
one.
quick. That was a very quick one because we're all in agreement that we don't want to work with.
Yeah.
We would much rather not have a frat and then be able to actually do our job well. That says something about us, I think.
But at the same time, not work with people who are going to make us ridiculously miserable.
we also have
yes.
a social circle outside of work. So
Yeah,
we
it
don't.
makes
Yes, that is
Yeah,
true.
there are a bunch of people who I work with whose only contact outside of family is the work. These are my work
That's
friends.
so sad.
Oh,
to
that's
me.
how it was for
I
me in
can't believe
Kentucky. Like, that's exactly how it was. I had the people I worked with and then my family, and that was it.
So in that kind of a situation, does that shift the equation so that you need those people that you're seeing for 8 hours a day to be friends? So you have someone.
I would assume if you were in that situation, then yes. If you had zero acquaintances outside of your work, then you would need those friendships. You would need that Friday where you go as a group from work to the bar or something.
I need Bennigans.
If I, like, my thought, since I was kind of in that situation, just kind of deviating a little bit, my entire social circle throughout most of my young life existed solely on the internet.
Yeah.
So what I think of first is like playing World of Warcraft back in the day. There was no quitting that game because my entire like social circle outside my family existed within that video game. And I think that's what holds people in those games for as long as they do.
Well, I think that's happening more and more even these days where,
Especially with COVID.
yeah, with like, well, I mean, COVID specifically, yeah, but like even nowadays, like the new youth, they're
You're like 20, what?
29.
The young people.
You're
The young people, yeah, the young people.
You're
I mean,
20s.
You're just says, I mean, that's just because you're old. That's different.
I think it's like it's a hierarchy. Like, so if you if you have a close knit group of friends, that's the top of your list. But if you don't have that, the next group that you can really attach to is your coworkers. And most of the people I knew that tried to do that with coworkers are the people that didn't really have too many people outside of work. But then you still go below that, and then you start running into, if you don't have any friends there, I think they start attaching to personalities online. There's some people that really get attached to people in there. So if they don't get that interaction, well, there's also family as a level in there too. But we kind of have those like it's like the hierarchy of needs. Friendship.
Yeah, for social interaction is definitely one of those where it's a bit more complex.
We're a very
and,
social species.
Yeah, as much as I love my grandma, she really didn't like count as like socializing. She was grandma.
Well, you tell her that. I'm sorry, Grandma. but talking to you is a-
I'm sorry, Michael's grandmother. I know you're watching this.
If you're watching right now, Grandma, I'm sorry.
Look her in the eyes, Michael. I'm gonna send your grandma just the video of you staring at them going.
Apparently grandma's not invited to margarita night.
No, she invites herself by like every time I'd go over her place, she'd try to serve me alcohol. It was great. My grandmother was,
grandma.
Most give cookies. Yours just gives booze.
yeah,
That's a
like
good grandma.
every time I went over, like she's pushing 90, but she still drinks like a fish, and it's amazing.
I don't know when this started, but I'm just imagining you being dropped off when you were 6 and you were just here.
I handed a bottle of Jack Daniels. Here, have some fun, kid.
I think my grandmother did give me alcohol one time when I was like 10.
I mean,
It's different.
I mean, that's
Like it was only a little bit.
I had
Had a cherry in it.
I had a little bit of wine at the dinner table when I was growing up. So,
Yeah, well, it's understandable. Like sometimes it's if you have a parent that is saying, don't do that, you're more than likely going to make them want to do it when they hit their rebellious years. So if you have some leniency on it, I can see them being like, oh, well, that's not now it being rebellious isn't include that. So there is a certain flexibility that is helpful, but it's a fine line trying to figure out where that is.
Also with alcohol, there's the thing of, here, kid, have a beer. Ugh. I'm never drinking this again.
Yeah, it's like there was a
very
comedian that used to say like when a kid would go to touch an oven, they'd like you normally go, oh, bad, don't do that. And he goes, no, I'm the kind of father who's like, wait, let's see.
Let's see how far he gets.
I actually did that. My grandfather said, no, don't touch that, hot. Tss. And then I licked my finger, put my fingers on it,
and pull away.
Yeah.
because he just pantomimed it, and I said,
Yeah.
oh, it'll
I
make
know
a
what to do.
noise.
Well, you were a smart child.
Yeah.
I learned.
Well, yeah, you do.
Yeah, you did.
You learn more from mistakes when you're a kid, and you won't do it again. But
Oh yeah, I burned my hand just very, very lightly on the edge of the burner, and that fixed me right up for the rest of my life. That was very.
I feel like I had a very different childhood from everyone else here, where
Yes,
you're
yes, you
like,
did.
don't touch that, and my parents were like, what would be fun right now?
it
Let
feel
the
like
kid touch the oven.
Michael's parents sound like that. They would have a room dedicated to teaching kids lessons. It would just be like forks next to sockets and open nails. And it's like, okay, let's see which kid survives. He'll go on to do great things.
Go in there and tussle.
Oh, the gauntlet room.
Yeah.
The gauntlet room.
Like-
It's the Kentucky gauntlet room.
I still love telling the story where my mom just tells me to catch bees with my bare hands. That's fun. That's a fun story to tell.
Yeah, you told
What
me
you do
before.
Yeah.
Wait, your mom told you to
related.
do this?
She taught me to do it.
Your mom's crazy. Like sometimes I
great,
feel
though.
like you're only the way you are because of her.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so ended on bees.
Yeah,
okay.
so you were able to double the length of that question.
Yes, exactly. We eased that one out.
Off
Mine,
topic, so.
mine is more interesting, I hope, than just coworkers and whether or not you hate them or not. I was actually thinking, because I was talking to somebody else earlier today about how the video games that we're kind of seeing right now that are coming out are actually a lot more automated in their development cycle than they used to be in the past. Like, you used to have a lot of video games that were created and massaged into place by expert hands, but now a lot of it is actually using AI instead of using the actual process to make, like models or textures or other things like that.
Somebody put that bush there.
Yeah, exactly. So like a very good showcase for that is like Metro Exodus, where every single thing inside that game was hand placed. There was nothing that was automated to do that game, and it looks great, and it shows that there was a lot of passion behind the project and stuff. But like something like Battlefield 2042, where like the entirety of the game looks like it was just pre-rendered in some AI and then just shipped. But like, my question is like, where do you think that will lead? Do you think we'll end up just playing games that no one actually coded or made, but instead an AI just made the entire thing from scratch?
Not in our lifetime.
No, I think there's a lot of procedurally generated stuff, but there's always a person coming through it to make sure that nothing's broken.
Well, you hope. that's where I'm at.
To a degree, because it depends. Is the game like procedurally generating it, or are they procedurally generating it? Like, so for instance, when I do lip syncing on SFM, sometimes I'll hit play and then I'll just grab the slider and I'll do the open motion and then I'll go through and clean that. So I'm like creating a base, but then you go through and do the touches. I can see it being useful where you're doing an AI that's building your entire environment, but then you're going through and using that as a base and then saying, okay, well now here we need to do this and here we need to do that. But then there's also the games where it's like Deep Rock or something where you have fully procedurally done stuff. There, you have to have the algorithms do everything.
Yeah.
And I think games like that are actually gonna grow.
Well, it's the same thing with No Man's Sky, where each planet is procedurally generated as you hit it, right?
Yep, everything's procedure generated, but usually a lot of those are the bigger you get it, you start there's always a point where you see the pattern, or you can see it being more consistent and whatever. It's about where that point is, because if you get to a point of never having that, that means that the randomicity is the universe itself, and that's not going to work.
And I'd be surprised to find out that Skyrim or Fallout or any of those big world Bethesda games didn't start with a procedurally generated map, and then they just added or took away from it as they wanted to. They had a person comb through it.
Well, you have to build, like, they have a whole story, so you have to figure out where all those pieces go.
Yeah.
So if you need a big mountain, the AI has to put it there, or you have to put it there.
Yeah.
But you can create a pretty flat thing and then say, okay, now here, there's a Flowscape or something. This is a game that allows you to build whole environments using this, like you get to paint environments.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But you can say just reduce everything. And then when it goes below a certain level, it starts putting on meadows. And if it goes above a certain one, it does mountains. And so you can paint like that. Those kind of tools are AI, but they are still human.
More and more we're going to have those tools, like the ability to paint landscapes, or just look at Mario Maker. Like, you don't have to place every single block, or you don't have to draw every single block. You have a variety of tools at your disposal so that it's a lot easier to make those games. If you are using AI to say, here's the starting template of this map, you're then saying, okay, but I want this to go here because this looks like a nice setting to set up this not QuickTime event, this shootout.
This trial or whatever
this trial.
it is.
Yeah.
But there's a lot, like, you'll see them actually draw the map out. Like, somebody does an artistry type map. The details of it probably are more automated, but that whole thing is then put in there. You can't AI that to a degree unless somebody can draw the picture and then you scan it and then it's like does some wizardry magic. I'm not sure, but the technology is getting that is getting to the point of efficiency, and big enough companies are going to do that. Like, Unreal has some Unreal stuff in there for building stuff like that.
Yeah. So, and that is also similar to what goes on with, like, do you guys see The Matrix in Unreal 5? Do you see that trailer?
Oh, no, I didn't, but I heard it was interesting.
It was
super cool.
The fidelity was amazing, and they were running it off, I think, mid-range hardware. I think it was a 1080.
Yeah,
and
the Unreal's a good engine.
Their nanite system specifically, where it takes texture work and scales it to need, that's an AI subsystem, basically. And I think those sorts of things are going to be really important in mostly just computer-aided drafting, or not drafting, generation, just in general. But, like, things like that where they're helping you build something, but I'm, like, talking, like, more about, like, things being fully built. Like, Deep Rock is a good game, but, like, are games going to, like, is that a better thing or a worse thing going to the forward?
I'd love procedurally generated stuff. I'd love to be able to every time I go into it, it's something different. And there's definitely some of those games where it's like hallways, and you can definitely see, this is, I can see this again and I can see this again. And like when you walk into the room, you know where the things are going to be. Like, even No Man's Sky has something like that, where some of the buildings are all the same. But I like it that you can just pick a direction. You're never going to see the same thing twice. There's just something fun about that. And so I will always prefer a game like that over one like Assassin's Creed, where it's pre-built, because when you go to play through it again, there's nothing different to it. It's the exact same thing. Then it's just speed running or something.
Yeah, and I can totally understand that. But I think there's also, in the future, there'll become a subset of the market that's literally labeled as hand-built. I guarantee it. So, somewhere in the near future, there's going to be box art that's going to say hand-built by the developers on it instead of AI generated.
I don't know. That sounds like a buzzword.
Yeah, well, it's a marketing term.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all going to require like new tools to make it easier and easier.
They're always going to make things easier and easier, but I think it's going to be the point of can't tell the difference between something that had AI partially helping and handmade. Handmade means expensive. And if you want to pay, like, I think like Square Enix is now selling one of their new games for $70 base price.
Yeah.
So we're getting to that point where the prices of games for AAA titles are going from 60 to 70. And if we want to try to keep some of the indie titles lower, procedurally generated does help kind of with that. You build the algorithm and then it does its thing.
The best procedurally procedurally generated game ever made was Minesweeper. So you can't beat that.
You could say solitaire.
You
Was,
can't-
Wow.
So Minecraft,
No, Minesweeper.
completely procedurally
Different.
generated.
Minesweeper.
Minesweeper.
Yeah, Minesweeper.
What about solitaire?
yeah.
Oh,
That's
When,
procedurally
when
generated.
those the cards come jumping down
Yeah.
after you win,
That's
that's
procedurally
definitely
generated.
unique.
Solitaire's got nothing on Minesweeper.
Okay.
I said it right here. Come get
Oh,
me.
Come get
well,
it.
come get me. Well, I mean, I can't. Yeah,
Fight me, bro.
can't fault you for that one.
When you
Anyway.
play Minesweeper, do you play it with the sounds or without?
Without the
It
sound.
has sound.
The sounds make it so much better.
Oh, when it goes.
No, because the entire sound setup for Minesweeper is a tick at every second, and then a boom when you make the mistake.
What sound does it make when you win? It just says
He's never won.
it just plays thank God.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you, Microsoft, for the copyright. All right, so my topic or my question was I was thinking about the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe type thing.
Yes. Yep.
And so like they walk through the wardrobe into some weird
Mr.
like,
Thomas.
yeah, the weird land. And so my thought was like that, where there they had a wardrobe that they walked through and went into another world.
In the first book.
So in what unconventional object would you want to be a portal to another realm?
Well, in the last book, the portal to the other realm was a bomb.
Well, that could be. That could be a real portal to another
Yeah.
world, depending on
Yeah.
the size of the
Yeah.
bomb.
And they were told, you can't go back. That bomb is a one-way portal over here.
Yeah, because if I had to pick a one, I would say a microwave.
How do you fit in a microwave?
Well, it doesn't mean you have to go through it, but I want to have it where after I open it and I realize this, I want to close it and turn it on. Because I want to know, like, am I bombarding these people with, like, microwaves? I'm cooking my rice and killing off a species.
I'm not sure if you could irradiate an entire universe like that.
Long enough.
I'm sure you could.
But
Well, you put it on high.
yes,
It's like a 1200 watt microwave.
you
or
put a fork in it.
Oh, unless they take that fork and they fight back.
How big are these people?
I feel like the best place to put a portal into another dimension is just down in the hole of a porta potty, where you have to jump inside because no one's gonna follow you. Because quick, he went into the porta potty. That's where the portal is. Are you sure? Are you really sure? But the worst part is that like people might actually use it and just
No, they're going to
poop
use it.
into the other dimension.
Well, they're
Going to use it.
There's
sure at
just
that
an-
point they want it.
That would be the most economically
want
friendly
it?
porta potty on the face of the earth.
You never have to empty it.
There's just a whole village. It just lands in the center of some village, and they're just like, "Why?"
No,
Standing
not why. Why did we build here?
It's welcome to the land of golden showers.
Oh no!
Oh God,
Oh,
that's awful.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like
that's not great.
But
That's
okay,
not-
thank you,
oh,
Michael.
Yeah, thank you, Michael.
The bounty that comes from the
I-
sky.
It's the whiz.
Their crops are fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a blessing.
You really shouldn't do that with no. You don't want to fertilize. But I was gonna say like in Pennsylvania somewhere there's like a Denny's freezer that just opens up. Just opens up to another world. Whether or not it's still the same Denny's freezer, because those places can be like they could live on their own ecosystem. Mm-hmm. It's basically like a new planet just inside those freezers, anyways. But like,
It's kind of making me think of Control,
yeah,
where you have the objects
Yeah.
of power. Oh no, those are the objects of power. Those are, what do they call those?
Places
Altered
of
items.
power.
Altered items. The altered items where they ended up just doing weird things in the universe, like the projector that would its slides would open up portals to another realm.
or you would pull a light cord that would just be randomly placed. That
Yes.
not even lead anywhere, but you pull it 3 times and you'd be taken somewhere.
You pull it 3 times and you go somewhere. Was it a hotel?
It was a motel.
It was a motel that you have to ring a bell, and every time you ring the bell, it opens a different door, and you have to do that so that you can go and open up a different door to get back to reality.
I guess still in reality, it's just kind of a weird.
There was that one door covered in blood too, and I never figured out what happened on that one.
I think there was a moment where there was like a couple like knock, knock, knock. Like, is
Yeah.
anybody in there? Oh, I guess we'll have to come back. They seem to be
Yeah,
closed.
I was outside. Yeah, so
They
that's
don't
what
know
I
where it
think.
is.
That's what I'm thinking about. Like that is like having an altered item like that with a portal.
But in the back of Denny's.
I'm thinking, ignoring the bomb, the actual answer that I would give is a revolving door.
That would be really awful because
Yeah.
you don't know when to stop.
You don't,
just
because
keep
you
going.
keep saying, there's an exit. No. There is an exit. No. There's an exit. Yes. And then the revolving door is gone.
You're screwed.
What was that one? What was that one show where it was like that guy that he was trying to get home, but he was
Quantum Leap.
No, that was through time.
Black Mirror?
No, there was a different guy. He ended up traveling through. He ended up inventing something, and he traveled into a different like version of reality, and he was trying to find his way home. And he would just keep jumping realities over and over again. They're all like
Rick and Morty.
kind of. No, they're all like variations on our current world. And he keeps jumping through them. And I'm thinking like that would be perfect for him. He's just like, nope. He'd be so much more efficient. Before it took him like 45 minutes to go
Yeah.
through each.
But like when I was thinking of what you were saying with the revolving door, I was imagining you've seen Castlevania, the animated series.
Yes.
But like having like the portal to another world, but instead it's just a revolving door in the middle of Dracula's castle.
It's
Let's
like
go find Dracula.
it's one of those like the spring horses that they have in parks. And when you start going at a certain rhythm, you just like you start going, you go faster. And
It makes that sound too.
and it makes the tire marks across the ground and fire.
But now I'm legit thinking that somebody just has a job in the other dimension. So every day a dude in a business suit with a suitcase wanders up to like one of those rocking horses in the middle of a freaking playground. It's like, going to work. And people, don't look at me.
It's not a playground. It just shows up embedded in the ground anytime it shows up somewhere.
Yeah.
So like you open your front door and you just see in your lawn one of those horses and, I got visitors.
This is definitely an SCP. And if it's not something that's already been written down, I'll write it down and add it.
SCP?
Yeah, SCP. Secure, Contain, Protect subreddit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that was.
He Reddited at us.
I did.
Scared.
It's not a Reddit. It's not actually Reddit. It's actually something way better than Reddit because Reddit's garbage.
Which is better, the little horse on a spring or the rocket ship you put quarters in?
No, one of the front loaders that's like lodged in the ground. All you could do was dig
the
up
scoop,
rocks.
the scoop.
You could only dig up rocks in like a 3-foot like circle, and that was it.
No, and then you're digging portals to a different
Dimension using the little scoop.
We'll find that portal
The portal swoop.
to the horse dimension.
Yes.
Find it.
Okay, well, it is the horse that you're taking there.
Yeah, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and what's even weirder is on their side, they have a little human on a spring.
Oh.
Where's the spring? Michael, your question.
See, mine's less of a question and more of a concern. Should the people of the Mushroom Kingdom be terrified of those little toad monsters?
The Goombas?
No, not the Goombas. The ones that like run around and talk and like serve the princess.
Toads?
Oh,
Yeah, those
they
sub
are the
monsters.
people of
You
the
mean the
Mushroom
subjects? It's
Yes.
the Mushroom Kingdom.
They should be absolutely terrified of those things.
Kingdom. Who should be terrified of them?
Everybody who isn't them.
Then they should stay out of their kingdom.
They should. But my thought is, these little things are mushrooms, right? I did some research, and a single mushroom in a single day can release 1 billion spores. Like they should be just everywhere. There should just be carpets of spores.
No, but they release at
these
certain
creatures.
times of the year, so I've just got to imagine that there's some holiday that they don't show in any video games where this is where new toads come from.
This is why they're random.
They just take off their clothes. It's awful. We have to get the guns out every year.
Well, we brought up before that
Get away
like,
from my house.
that Mario's the bad guy. Maybe that's what it is. Again, it's that the mushrooms are trying to take over through a fungal infection.
Yeah.
And they're just fighting back for their life.
Like my thought is, Princess. I'm not really sure. I think she's human. She's like
She's just
She
princess.
is. She is. Sure.
She must bathe head to toe in like tough actin tenactin just to avoid being just covered in like every fungal infection known to man
Well,
the word
on a
that's
constant basis.
But maybe like the toads are the same color as the ones that are psychedelic because Mario can grow bigger or smaller using the colored ones, whereas the Goombas are mushrooms that are just
when he eats his children,
Those are mushrooms with teeth.
Yeah, they're
They
mushrooms.
they have teeth, but they're also like edible ones.
They lost their body.
because
It's
they're
just
like portobellos.
their heads with legs.
Yeah.
Like the thing,
No legs, just feet.
So they've been decapitated.
Just well, I don't know what Mario did to them.
He jumps on them.
They're the spawn, and they're trying to call the population.
They eat them.
I think of like freaking Halo with the flood, where they're a fungal monster that spreads everywhere.
Oh, it's the same universe.
Yeah, like they are the flood. Like they spread their billions of spores all over the place, infecting everything. How much dead matter is required for an entire civilization of fungal people to propagate?
And I'm just imagining Super Mario Galaxy. You're using those like star portals, and then you find a ring. You find a halo, and it's pointed at the Mushroom Kingdom.
Uh-oh.
Because, they didn't want the flood to spread anymore.
Yeah,
Bowser.
they
is
are the flood.
Bowser is the original like ancients.
Yep.
He's just like, please stop.
The Koopas are the ancients. They're turtles. They live a long time.
It's been a big misunderstanding. He just wants the mushrooms to die, and then he's like trying to save both Mario and Peach. And I'm like, please.
And come to the quarantine zone,
You've been
my castle.
You've been you've been subverted via their psychedelic mushroom spores. You need to come with me. And then Mario's like, whoa, wah.
I want to. He's the original Spartan.
Yeah.
So like, like Luigi just
Please.
comes off and he's like, wow.
He does eat their children to gain strength.
Master
He
Chief.
does.
Yeah.
The princess is Cortana.
Yeah.
Like she's just her embodiment over time.
I'm just imagining like Master Chief's visor just like slowly clearing, and instead of seeing his human eyes, you just see a pair of Mario eyes behind the visor.
It just says, I just want to see a picture of that, and then it just subtitled just says "Mamma Mia."
Mamma mia!
I did just have a whole thing. It's like, your subjects are coming to visit you, princess. And she's like, 1 second, she's like spraying herself with the antifungal stuff, and then she sees one of them and is like,
What of the stuff? No, first she looks at the can. She goes, looks at the can, looks at the toad. And he goes,
acid.
he just goes, disappears. But first he has that little toad scream that they do.
No, but having sentient fungus, that would be terrifying.
Well, thinking of like the chances of all life in the universe, there's probably some species out there that's really close to a being a sentient, intelligent fungus.
So would you be
You
more
say
freaked
that,
out if there was a toad in the hallway or a Goomba in the hallway walking towards you?
Like,
At least the toad.
Was he
can
breathing
talk.
at me?
Well, actually, can they talk? Because they just scream. They never say anything.
Toads can talk.
Well, they
ma-
scream. They
no,
go,
they give you
That's all they do.
text words,
Yeah.
but all the noise they actually make, it's like in video games when you go. Yeah,
No, like in Mario Kart, Toad has the line, I'm the best!
well, because
Well, that's mimicry.
it's like I am Groot.
yeah.
My name is Toad.
That's a
I like spaghetti!
that's a plant like organism that has developed higher functions in cerebral activity enough to imitate its prey.
I'm just
So it's hunting you.
imagining now. It's like, I'm the best. Toad goes, I'm the best. And they're like, no, you're not. And then he just releases his spores. and that's how The Last of Us starts. He's just like, I'm the best. Just spreads the fungus.
I'm imagining a clicker instead of going. "Wah," he goes.
That's a mod.
The Last of Us Toad edition.
We just mixed, I think, Mario Brothers into every video game series we could possibly
It's
think
a
of.
child's game. It's very easy to merge into other very adult topics.
Yeah. Well, it's also from our childhood, so we all
Yes.
know it pretty well.
Yeah, those things terrify me.
I'm glad your existential, like quandary turned into
Get
that.
vampire, Frankenstein, or Loch Ness monsters. Not terrifying. Toad from Mario Brothers is the start of the plague.
All right. So God, we're just going to go so many ways in that one. So for the next portion here, because we're done with our main questions, is improv trivia. So I'm going to be asking these three fine-ish gentlemen a question that is a fake trivia question. It is not a real question, but they are going to give me a real answer, and they have to prove it. So whatever they say is truth, and we have to go with it. So, John, I have your first question.
All right.
So, John, what technology was considered to trigger the start of the Industrial Revolution?
Pants.
Yes.
Specifically, the pants with a zipper on the front.
Oh,
Yeah, because the invention of pants that were really easy to take off, that you didn't have to fit with like knots or anything like that, they just made it so easy to do industry.
Yes.
Industry.
Yes.
I remember when after pants were invented and with the zipper, it led to huge advances in medical science after the first man caught himself in the zipper. and reconstructive surgery took great leaps and bounds in that
Yes.
instant.
that was before they started using methanol too, so it was awful.
Yes, because before that you just had tights or pantaloons or
Well, I mean, you had buttons.
but they streamlined it, so just one button,
It's just one. It's one
button,
multi-button.
then a zip.
Yes.
Saves so much time. Like all of civilization before pants and the zipper spent half of their day just buttoning up their pants.
Yeah.
So they didn't have time for like machinery and advanced nonsense.
And there was that point in fashion where the entire pants was just buttons. Like it was just little hoops and buttons. Yeah.
I like the idea that at one point, like everybody's wearing a dress, and then somebody just like stapled two together, and he's like, "Oh,
Dress for each leg.
yeah, a double dress, double dress." So, okay, interesting. Industrial Revolution was started by pants.
Yeah.
So, Kyle, I got your question.
Okay.
While Genghis Khan is well known for uniting Asia through war, he also had a hidden soft side that he expressed through what activity?
He knitted.
I was thinking you were going to say.
Wait,
I mean, mainly because it's cold in northern Siberia, so he needed something to wear.
I think he's from Mongolia.
and Siberia.
No, Siberia.
Yeah, he was a nomadic.
I'm making the history right now, man.
They were a nomadic
He's from Siberia.
people.
Yeah, the Siberian
Yes,
monks.
The Siberian steppes.
Yes. So, like I was saying, in Siberia,
Where Genghis Khan is
where
from.
Genghis Khan is from.
He was very cold.
And so he knitted socks for all of his wives and children, which there were
He had a lot.
copious amounts of. So he was very busy doing that while. So like there's a famous picture. It's very similar to the one with Abraham Lincoln riding a polar bear, where he is riding his horse into battle, but instead of a sword, he just has knitting needles and he's making a sock while on horseback riding to battle.
Oh,
and taking out eyeballs on occasion because they're multifunctional.
He's using his enemy's hair as well into the
Yeah.
into
Like he literally brought nations together by knitting them together.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
knitting the people together in very long strings.
Oh no.
the very first human centipede.
Genghis Khan is responsible for the human centipede.
Oh no!
You will join us, or you will be knit to.
We will all be knit.
You don't want to be part of this.
I put his hidden soft side, and then you became. It's not even a soft side anymore. You're murdering people with it.
No,
He was murdering people before.
they were very soft
As well.
socks.
Yeah.
Oh, they were very nice. Yeah, see, he stopped all war because of socks.
The important thing is everyone got fed along the line. It's an awful movie.
I've never watched it.
Don't want to.
All right, Michael, I have your question.
Uh-oh.
So, what were the last words spoken by Julius Caesar after he was murdered?
He said, GG. GG. He was a respectful individual.
Yeah.
He knew when he was beat. And he was like, good game, guys. And then he died.
Is
So-
this while Brutus was teabagging?
The whole
Chris
Senate
Teabagger.
took turns. They were not as good as a sport as Julius Caesar's was.
Yeah.
That's why we remember him fondly after he committed all those genocides in France.
When he was like just committing all those genocides, screaming YOLO. as he tore through France.
What's Latin for
Those Gauls,
yellow?
they spoke
Gaul.
Gaul,
There you
and
go.
they didn't understand his Roman Greek, which is the YOLO, which
Yes.
is spelled Y0 1000.
Oh, you're trying
zero.
I don't know those.
What is L?
That's-
the number?
that's-
500.
500. 500.
It's all that hip kid talk that Julius
What were you
Caesar
gonna
was
say- what were you gonna say
into.
there?
Roman numerals
Yeah, what were you gonna say though, John?
of French.
Oh, just the French. Okay, just the French. He was just going to discharge
French.
the French.
We remember Julius Caesar fondly because he tried to get rid of the French.
Also, he
noble
invented that
goal.
salad that's pretty good.
And he invented Fortnite.
Yes.
He did.
Yes.
He
We're
invented
just going to keep
Fortnite.
Fortnite coming back on this one. All right. I was waiting for something about pizza, but I'll take GG.
Pizza.
All right. John.
That was Little Caesar.
Yeah, he was tiny.
He came
It
later.
was little baby Caesar. Little baby
He's so good. I just stab him in the back.
Beware the Ides of March. Beware the Ides of March.
All right. So, John, your second question. If your parachute fails to deploy during a skydive, what action will increase your odds of survival to 90%?
Taking out the little tiny cocktail umbrella that you had in your pockets.
Going back to episode
Yes,
one.
and then just
Yes.
holding it up.
Yeah.
Well,
You just
90%,
need
yeah.
to deny gravity.
Oh,
pretend
well,
it
doing the
doesn't
hitchhikers.
exist.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, the important thing is to have drank the alcohol before, and that way you
Well,
like
you did that on
limber
the
up.
plane.
You lighten up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
remove the weight.
Yeah, you limber up so that you bounce a little better when you hit the ground. So.
And then you have the little tiny umbrella to just instill all of your confidence in that so that you know you're going to be okay. And then you hit the ground.
If you're
Yeah,
super,
it doesn't say not hit the ground.
Yeah.
It does say odds of survival.
Yeah.
yeah, like if you're super talented, you can actually just fly with it. I saw this one documentary about this nanny who had a tiny umbrella or a decent sized umbrella. It was a decent sized
smaller
umbrella.
than-
She was intermediate level, like with a tiny one if you're in master.
Yeah, it was
okay.
Yondu,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, of course.
Yondu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like his umbrella didn't even have a little like
Yeah,
umbrella.
Yeah, he just had the
spout.
stick.
Just had the stick. It's a fly.
Son, Guardians of the Galaxy reference on that one. Sure, that's kind of maybe obscure for some.
There's that one 70-year-old man who's watching this podcast like, oh, I didn't know. I haven't been to the theaters since Gone with the Wind was there. It's just like, but just,
And for those
so
younger
you-
than 70,
So me.
there's this movie called Mary Poppins. Yeah,
yeah.
it had a nanny who flew around with an umbrella, a big one with a parrot.
Wasn't there also a lion and like a scarecrow? They were helping take care of the kids.
No, that was just the sugar.
Oh, that was just like
Just spoonfuls of sugar.
that was just.
a spoonful of sugar helps the opium go down.
I was going to say the heroin syrup really helped ease those kids out while she was taking care of them.
That's why they saw all that crazy shit. It's like she wasn't magical; they were high.
to do a painting.
Ooh boy!
I got to dance with a penguin.
That was the best weekend those kids ever had.
She just got them so high.
Yeah.
What's the color of sugar? Okay, so Kyle, I have your question.
Mm-hmm.
In 2023, the NFL plans to implement a new bonus point system at the end of the game for the team to best to perform what?
Backflips.
Backflips.
Yes. It's basically like at some point into they'll be at the 50-yard line and they'll do a second coin toss because you just have to more coin tosses equal better views on the TV.
More coins is more money.
More coins, more coins, more money. But so there'll be a coin toss and then the person who's gives the correct answer, they will backflip as the entire team down to the end zone, and then if at least 30% of them can do a double backflip, then they are given a certain random number of points. I mean, it's all decided beforehand, anyways. This is the NFL. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. And then the other half of the field gets to go on their backflip adventure, and then they're done.
So it sounds like the halftime show just after the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, increasing views.
What song is played?
We will survive.
I I know I'd watch that. It'd keep people past the end.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to watch like the Fox post game show?
God, nobody watches.
Yeah, but if there's a bunch of beefy guys doing backflips on the field,
Bunch
I mean,
of-
when I say beefy guys, it makes it sound other, but I would still watch it.
I mean, backflips or old has-beens talking about a game that you just watched.
You see, this team won because it had more points.
Yeah.
You may not have known
I
how
used
many
to be in-
touchdowns,
yeah,
but we know.
I used to be in football. Therefore, I am an expert on telling you how the game went that you just watched.
Experience doesn't matter; it's personality. They could put Weird. Actually, put Weird Al on there. I'd probably watch it more.
Yeah.
Actually, I
I'd
would
watch
too.
it.
Actually, Weird
That'd be
Al.
fun.
Weird Al doing a post-game summary would be amazing.
Especially if you didn't watch the game.
Yes, he's just in there bullshitting the entire time. They're great.
Yeah. Like, have we talked about how much we love Weird Al
Yeah.
in this podcast?
I haven't-
We
A little bit.
we have a little bit.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, we made clones of them.
Well,
That's true. We did make clones of him.
then we
yes.
decided to make them illegal.
Yeah,
Well, that's because they probably should be illegal. So
yeah.
He's making a movie about himself, and I can't wait to see it.
yes, backflipping.
Yes.
All right, well, Michael, I have your next question.
I'm scared.
Some animals can perform near super feats, like an ant carrying 20 times its weight or a cheetah running nearly 80 miles an hour. What feat is attributed to the platypus?
The platypus is capable of tap dancing.
Tap dancing.
Yes, they're expert tap dancers. They're world renowned. They get stage plays where they go up on stage and then they poison the other tap dancers with their barbs and win every competition they've ever competed in.
So
That's how Mr. Bojangles died.
is it all 4 flippered feet,
Well, they're-
or is it just 2?
No, they alternate. They're very versatile.
They're multi-talented.
Yeah, yeah,
One foot at a time.
yeah.
One foot at a time.
Yeah.
They get up there and they do renditions of Beatles songs.
They tap dance the Beatles.
Exclusively Beatles songs.
No
Because
wings.
every-
Paul McCartney
every-
afterwards. No,
No,
that's
just Beatle.
yeah.
And like everyone knows that platypuses are huge Beatle fans. So yeah, no, they're amazing. The most amazing mammal that lays eggs that exists in all of creation.
Yeah, where
So,
it's just one more thing to add to the
Slamming the
weirdness.
echidna there, aren't you?
yes, just a little bit. Echidnas are the crap mammals of the animal kingdom.
They're like
Yeah.
the cousin you don't talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, all
Poor
those,
Knuckles.
all the animals that lay eggs,
not an
all the mammals that lay
He's an
eggs.
abomination.
No, Knuckles lays eggs.
Wait, what?
I would like to see that.
Knuckles is an
Wait,
echidna.
what?
Well, I want to see in the
Echidnas
next.
lay eggs. Knuckles lays eggs.
We don't need to give the internet any more information that they already have.
They,
The internet is not. I mean,
like
it's not
now,
how-
my brain is thinking about how many pictures out there is there of Knuckles laying eggs, and there's probably more than one.
I want to see like in the movie that he just like gets startled and just drops one right there.
Just clucks like a chicken.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
not even clicks. He just like here, and then like, boop, and it just hits, and he's like, oh,
Looks over at Sonic and says, "It's yours."
well, that.
That's a fanfic. You guys can have that. It's
I'm
fine.
pretty sure that's been done.
Yeah.
I have like physical pain happening.
A little
bit. Like I'm physically in pain.
Oh, my ovaries.
no.
Oh no. This is worse than
Nobody's
cannibalism.
ever thought of pregnant Sonic characters.
Anyways, yeah, we're gonna end that one right there.
Yeah.
So for the next part, I have some audience questions. So on Discord, for anybody that's a supporter for Patreon or Twitch, I have stop laughing. I asked for some questions this morning, and I did get some questions, so I'm gonna cover those now. So our first question comes from Bus Film Cohen, who's actually on here listening right now. Asks, "What is the one thing you dislike about winter?"
Loss of feeling.
Like
Like
in your
emotions?
soul or
No,
Because-
in my fingers.
no? Okay.
I have both, but yeah, I could say that sucks.
I just got loss of feeling all year round if we're talking emotionally.
Yeah. The degradation of psyche. No, I actually love winter. I camp out in it. I snowboard in it. I run around in it.
Winter is
Love
fun,
it.
but if I had, it used to be that I just didn't like having to drive in snow if I didn't have to. But I actually
My
think
least favorite part of driving in winter, though, isn't like roads. It's getting into a cold car. Just here's a cold seat. Here's holding on to the cold steering
It
wheel.
livens you up.
I did. When I was living
Why
in
can't-
when I was at an apartment, it was different because having to go out in the cold, like especially if it was, I think we had like a whole week where it's like -10 Fahrenheit. That is super cold, and you're not going to warm it up in any decent amount of time. Because you're walking all the way out there, walking all the way back in. Especially if you didn't have an auto starter. And sometimes it's just so cold, even an auto starter doesn't work. But what were you going to say in regards to that?
I have a detached garage, so to get to my car, even though it's always going to be inside, it's not going to be covered in snow. I'm getting I'm getting woken up, but with that hit of colds. But then I go through that, and then I sit down in a cold chair in a cold room, holding onto a cold object for however long it takes me to get to my destination.
And then you get frostbite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Being I have an attached garage, that
not
helps
bad.
because it keeps the inside a little colder because we're sitting above it, but it also means that the garage is always like 30 degrees warmer than the outside.
Yeah.
yeah.
My detached garage normally is about 10 degrees above outdoor temperatures.
Yeah. And it keeps the frost down too. Which
I have a fun winter story.
Oh
go
boy.
on.
Oh boy.
No, when I was a kid living in the trailer park, my mother told me to go get my sister who was at her friend's house that was a good ways away. But I was wearing like shorts and a t-shirt, no socks or shoes, and I didn't want to go through all the trouble putting stuff on. So I ran as fast as I could through the snow. It was snowing, down the road barefooted to go get my sister, and I showed up at her friend's house's door, and her mom answers the phone and sees me in the snow, barefoot.
Barefoot with no.
She called my mom. My mother was very upset.
So the one that says, "Hey, catch a bee with your hands," is now angry because you didn't wear socks.
Well,
Probably 'cause
she
you got
was
so loud.
upset that somebody else
Yes.
saw
Yeah.
me and called her.
She's
But
embarrassed.
Yes.
I didn't stay. I just said, tell my sister to come home. And then I ran. I left.
You didn't warm up.
I didn't go inside. I started just running. And in my mind, I remember having so much fun because everything hurt. Like, it's so cold. It's so cold. Ha ha. This is going to be fun. To tell people later I did this.
I get to count how many toes I get to keep.
1, 2,
3, snap.
2.
I don't know if it was Princess Peach, she might have had it be useful. Get rid of that fungus.
Yes. Would have saved her.
No, I think the worst thing I hate about winter is the length of the day.
Yes, that is.
I
true.
like night, but I like having less of it.
If it's the dead of night at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, especially
not-
if
that's not okay.
when you go to work and the sun is just peaking, and then you come out of work and it's just down the horizon,
And it's in your eyes.
because then it's just depressing. It's you need that sun. So I like that first. The
Nobody
Nove-
needs the sun. The sun's not done anything for anybody.
Except
life.
literally give life.
No,
Overrated.
Life is the root of all my problems.
yeah, it's that November, January, and February. After that, I'm fine. But it's just that dead middle part. Oh, I hate it so much. In the middle is, but we get the opposite then. During the summer, we get super long summer or night or days. So it's like what 9:30 when the sun sets, and then it rises again at 4 something. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that is nice too.
Trying to sleep and the sun's out.
Bless Filming Point says, "When life makes lemons, throw the sun at it." I like that. So the second question here, Bless Knight's one here. Have you ever used a tool the wrong way, but the results still look good? So have you ever used something the wrong way and it still ended up okay?
I'm just remembering back to all those times that I used a crescent wrench to hammer in a nail.
Well, everything's a hammer.
Yeah, everything's a hammer.
I've used the claw of a hammer as a cutting tool. It's just,
That's more impressive.
well, it's sharp. You just kind of scrape it along, and I mean, it's the point.
Kind of not, but sharp. Like
Yeah, the hook on the back.
yeah. I normally use the tools for the purpose, like an angle grinder. But
You grind
using it for the
angles.
very wrong answer.
One of them is actually kind of a hack that sometimes works. It's using a can opener to own plastic, like electronic stuff. The ones that are like the double layered plastic overlapping.
yeah.
Yeah, using a can opener. Some of those actually
Yeah,
work.
that makes sense.
That actually reminds me when I did not that, but with opening cans. When I first moved into my previous place, I didn't have a can opener for like the first month living there, so I just had a hammer and a screwdriver, and I just pounded all my food open.
What?
Yeah,
Why would you do that?
I didn't have a can opener, and I always kept
Why did
forgetting
you
to
not
pick
get
one
one?
up. I kept forgetting every time I was
So
over.
every night you came home, you're like, damn, no can opener.
No, I had,
hammer opener.
I had a flathead screwdriver and a hammer, and I would just go around the edge of the can.
Didn't you have a bottle opener with one of the sharp sides?
No, I didn't have any of that. I had a flathead screwdriver and a hammer.
Why
else-
don't you use the back of the hammer?
Yeah, that's sharp.
You can pry it open.
Like just stab at it. That would have been a mess.
No, you put you get one in, and then you
Just kind
leverage.
of rip at it.
Yeah.
You're
I didn't
jamming
do
a
that.
screwdriver into it. You're saying that like, oh, that won't work.
It worked better than the claw, I would think.
You would think, but you never
I
tried.
didn't try. Admittedly.
He's over there scraping away at it.
I remember my car was also kind of held together with just nonsense. Like, I don't know if it's a tool exactly, but my muffler was held on with like picture wire for the longest time.
That's.
I
I've
mean,
heard that
yeah,
before.
Yeah.
I did that with a coat hanger, metal coat hanger.
Yeah.
Held that bitch on there.
Michael is I think that he just randomly just mixes nouns together to make a sentence.
Yeah.
But then he'll show you something and it's like, oh wow, that actually was a real thing.
No, I don't. I'm not smart enough to make up shit.
Do we want to talk about what we were making fun of you earlier for?
What were we making fun of me earlier for? I already
socks?
forgot. Oh, my socks, they're still different and upside down.
Yeah, he's wearing two different socks and one of them is upside down.
Well,
And Kyle literally died.
I
He
did.
saw that the heel was
on the top, of his foot.
Yeah.
It's
and he
bullshit.
said,
That's
okay, let me put my shoes on.
The fact that man saw that his sock was put on back, like, how
I put a sock on my foot and moved on with my day. Why can't you?
the fact that it was put on wrong, in like there is resistance to this originally happening, but thereafter to not fix the issue
Why would I fix
is
it?
just it's the height of either laziness or it's the height of Michael.
I feel like
Like it's just
I want to see Michael sometime where his new socks are, he just found an old pair of pants and he just cut it off at the bottom and knotted the end. And he's like,
you
that's
would.
good.
I can see you doing that.
He wouldn't even do that, just fold it at the end. Like it'd be like the bag of bread.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I've fixed lots of
He'd
things.
get one of those the bread clips and just put that on the pants.
Those bread ties are pretty much what are used to like keep all my PC wires in check. They're amazing.
Inside
Well, those
the
work,
PC?
but
The
there's
wires or the
better.
little plastic clip thing?
No, the twist ties.
Yeah, but you can.
Oh, yeah,
you can
that's
get
fine.
good ones for like you get like $10 for like 200, and
The
then
ones that come on the bread are free.
no, you have to
You
buy
have
the
to
bread.
buy bread.
Yeah, but
not
you're already
wrong.
buying the bread.
I'm not.
You're not supposed to use those because those have a steel core in them.
Yeah, but Mike, well that means
Fine.
that's probably about quality degradation. And look at the man.
But it's free.
I'm doing great,
Actually,
Quality
Plus Swimming Pool just says, but it's free though.
but it is free.
It is free. I mean, it was
I
like
used to use those, but they were
10
just.
cents, but it's still free.
I like the other ones because like the metal ones eventually just break or they start fraying and they just don't look clean when you're trying to make something nicer, and they don't expand. So if you have like a large amount of cables, like you might have to do the thing where you got to like merge two of the metal ones
Yeah,
together.
but I know a fix for that. You don't look at them, and they can't hurt you.
Hide them behind the other clutter.
This sounds like your Tinder profile. Okay, so for the next question here, I'm trying to jump to some of the ones here. Jurassic asked one about Rathalos, but we haven't about which one's the best to fight. But I think half of them we haven't actually fought before, so I'm going to pass on that one. So Nolan asks the question: the butterfly effect states that tiny, apparently inconsequential changes can produce enormous, globally felt repercussions. What would the pigeon effect be? I want to see it's like
Anywhere you build a statue, there will be poop.
Yeah, the pigeon effect definitely has something to do with dust mites,
I was
Dust
thinking
mites?
food.
or not dust, like avian-born mites just crawling everywhere.
No matter what environment you're in, there is going to be some pest that's going to get where you don't want it. It could be the top of a building, and then you get pigeons. It could be guinea pigs that are just burrowing into your house.
Could you?
En masse.
That would be adorable. Could you imagine a guinea pig coming up out of your floorboard and going beep beep? You'd be
If you found a guinea pig in your fridge, you would be happy?
They would never get inside the fridge because I would make it guinea pig proof. But like if they just started burrowing up through the floorboards, that'd be cute.
That's a sign I
great.
want in my fridge, guinea pig proof.
If we remove all rats and replace them with guinea pigs, the world is a better place.
I don't know. I had a friend that had 2 guinea pigs and one ate the other.
Yeah, they fight.
Yeah,
yeah,
they had hamsters
fight.
eating each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
But is that better than
It's
having
dominance.
2 rats?
no, well, it depends. I
Yeah,
had
they
a
will.
neighbor that had a pet rat. Not
But
a
on
mouse.
the-
Not a
on
mouse.
the
Rats,
one.
rats
It
will
was a
definitely
rat.
do the same thing. Rodents in general will do the same
Yeah.
thing, where they will kill and then devour.
I had a hamster that ate its own leg once.
Why?
It was broken.
Well, I guess why waste the meat?
Yeah,
No,
like
the hamster was broken.
the
So it ate
hamster's
its own
leg
leg.
broke, so it ate the leg.
Did it grow back?
It did not. The hamster died
It's
from
not
an
a-
infection.
Yeah, it's not a lizard.
Why did you not help it?
I was like 8.
You could have made a tiny splint.
My cousin's the reason his leg broke.
What did he do with them?
Threw it down a slide.
Threw it or dropped it?
Threw it.
Well, then it's not a slide. It's just throwing.
I wanted it to go fast.
Throwing it down a ledge.
God, that's awful.
It was because that hamster kept being thrown down the slide over
mean,
and over.
I
again.
mean-
Kept being?
Yeah, it wasn't just one off. They kept like, wee, wee, wee. I was very upset they essentially
Surprised
killed
it
my
only had
hamster.
one broken
Awful.
leg. How do you know it was the infection and not the internal bleeding?
I don't.
What color?
Well, it did die weeks later.
So sad.
you were just talking
Internal
about
bleeding would-
about the circle where you're pushing the boulder, and I think we
Yes.
found the 3rd level of hell.
the one where it's just hamsters on slides forever.
Was it like a metal cheap slide, or
It was like one of those kids' plastic slides.
yeah, the ones that
I was-
it's straight down, or does it go in a circle?
No, it went straight.
okay.
I was imagining like a little like Hot Wheels NASCAR track.
No, she just thought it was really fun.
Oh, tormenting an animal was really fun.
A little bit. I didn't do it.
Oh,
was,
of course you did.
disclaimer.
Yes, yeah.
I was thinking of it like Christmas Story or Christmas Vacation, where he like polished the bottom of his thing, and
Oh, he goes,
and I'm thinking of the gerbil like, or the going in there just. And like you just hear like the pop noise, it just goes down there. Deja Vu starts playing.
I was imagining like little hamster hitting one of those. You remember the old NASCAR sets where they had like the little rubber wheels that would catch the side of the cars, go and shoot them through like loops and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like that instead of a hamster, like the hamster go and get caught in the wheels and go get shot throughout the loops.
Well, trying to shoot a Hot Wheels car, it's so light. If you added a gerbil to that, I would be scared the amount of power that is in that thing. Like it would probably need a license to own. Like, do you have your concealing carry for your gerbil?
In an alternate reality, there are no handguns. There are just gerbil guns.
That'd be adorable, but also like terrifying if they were like carnivorous.
no.
It's like shooting piranhas at
I mean,
people.
if you shoot
Starts tunneling.
if you shoot a gerbil at somebody at 1,500 meters per second, it's going to do some damage.
Or you go larger caliber and eventually get up to guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Wait, if you're shooting a gerbil,
Hamsters.
if you're shooting a gerbil at 1,500 meters per second, the gerbil is going to just be mush as
No,
soon as it leaves the barrel.
aerodynamically, genetically engineered.
No, you give it a helmet.
Or
You give it a helmet. Yes.
they fire it from a distance.
Armor piercing gerbils.
It's got to be like the white stripe with the red and the blue star.
Yes.
Yes.
Just imagining capybaras being labeled as like weapons of
God.
mass destruction.
There's the capybara cannons.
Aerial.
That capybara just took out 20 men.
They have them strapped to the bottom of B-52 wings. They're dropping them like bombs.
What do they call that? The rods from God.
Yes, where they have
This is ferrets.
Tungsten
my God.
rods.
Yeah, so
coming
the-
from outer space. What kind of animal would we
Ferrets.
For those that don't know,
ferrets.
Ferrets.
A very long ferret.
Yes.
For those that don't know what rods of gods are, rods of God. It was an old concept of taking these giant rods up into space and then just shooting them down at the earth. because the impact from it could create nuclear type explosions. But the cost of getting things up there just to shoot them back down was more than building a nuke. So they decided not to.
But
Well,
isn't it-
the UN does have restrictions about bringing weapons into space, but they don't have restrictions about bringing tungsten rods into space.
Because it isn't a weapon of sorts. But I love the name rods from God.
Yeah,
But it's true.
Bezos could do this right now, and there's nothing that could.
No, they're completely silent. They make no radar signature.
But also, there's no nuclear fallout. That was the other thing. So it was fairly safe. But what do they call those? KKDs or what are they? Kinematic kill.
Kinetic-
KKVs.
Yep, KKV. Yes.
Kinematic kill vehicles.
Yep.
I think there's another letter in there I'm missing. Anyways, but yeah, RKKV if you go fast enough. That's what I was thinking of. So, or a relativistic kinetic kill vehicle,
Bringing
which
it
is a
back-
super cool name.
it is a cool
Bringing
name.
it back to pigeons.
Right?
They actually, during I think it was World War II, had bombs with pigeons in them because they didn't have computers yet, and they taught the pigeon to peck it towards a target, and they were able to steer bombs.
Yeah, actually, super
I
reliably.
do
Yeah.
remember hearing about
Yeah,
that.
they would show. Yeah, they show a picture of it from the angle they were going to come in at, and they would keep steering it by hitting little controls. It was like putting a pigeon in there to play as the guidance computer, and it worked well. It just, I think, the training of it, especially since you spent years training it, and then you kind of blow it up.
Maybe we could
Yeah.
teach pigeons to drive cars. Maybe that's the future of self-driving cars is pigeon-driven
That's
cars.
the pigeon effect.
But now I'm just
Yeah, that's the
imagining a
pigeon effect.
gerbil in a tungsten rod launched from space, steering it with a little cowboy hat.
They're working together.
The tungsten rods and the gerbils have formed an alliance.
The gerbils and the pigeons.
Oh, the gerbils and the pigeons.
Well, first they used to ride the pigeons into battle, or the pigeons would ride the gerbils into battle. They kind of went back and forth.
No.
Depending on where, like aerial combat, land combat.
Yeah,
Which day of the week?
Yeah.
They took the odd and even days.
yeah,
Yeah, they took the odd turtle if they had to go underwater.
yeah. This is that. Okay, what?
Where are we at again?
Turtles.
Questions?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll do one more here, and we'll see if I can do Spike's one. This one might be hard to answer, but what is the one thing you love about something you hate the most? I think we might have asked one similar to that. I think it's about something you love to hate, but yeah, what is something that you love about something you hate? Because everybody has something they hate, but sometimes there's something that like, yeah, but I also like this, and so I kind of
I do like saunas.
a sauna.
Yeah.
You hate them too?
No, I hate Finland, but I like saunas. I mean, it's a great invention.
Well, I guess.
It's reasonable, though.
I mean, just sitting in a hot room, just drinking.
What have the Finns done for anybody, anyways?
Well, they acted as a buffer for Russia for the rest of Scandinavia. Not very effectively,
No, they were.
but
Also
yeah.
saunas, apparently.
Yeah, saunas, Moomin, and death metal.
Yeah.
I will take this in a different route, similar to a sauna, but those public showers that are at a swimming pool, because you know that you want to get all that swimming pool water off of you, but you probably don't want to do it in a public area. So, like, it's you
can wear your
you
swimming suit.
love
You can wear
getting
swimsuit
out of
in
the
there.
pool and getting off all that gross pool water, but you hate doing it.
Well, I don't know why you go to a public pool, because why don't you just dig a hole made of dirt and then fill it with water?
Hey,
Kyle?
there's no callbacks to
And
that.
And then you have
I
the
was 3
mat-
years old.
You have
I'd
the
dig a hole.
mats in those showers that just tear at your feet, but it's
Yes.
still better than being on the actual floor.
Yes.
I don't like anything about those showers.
Yeah, what if they have like some mushroom fungus on their feet?
That's why you wear shower
Yeah.
shoes.
Yeah,
Toes in there
I
just going off.
when I used to be at the dorms,
Yeah, shower shoes.
they had a public shower. I mean, it was all individual stalls, but it was shower shoes, 100%. I never went in there without it.
Never want to go, especially in a college. Oh god.
It was well,
Introduction to hygiene. That's a class that should be required but isn't.
The closest
For
I ever
everybody who enters college, probably, yeah.
yeah, public pools are a disgusting thing. I think there was something I was watching, like, you know that chlorine smell? If you're smelling that, it's not the chemicals they put in, it's the chemicals they put in reacting with the things you don't want to be in contact with. So if you smell it, it's because there's a lot of piss in there.
What were you saying, Michael?
I was saying the closest I've ever come to one of those like public showers was at the beach, and then they just had the showers outside.
That's so much better.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Well, you're not
much
about
better.
it's unless they start stripping naked to get in front of it. That'd be different.
I mean,
But
you
yeah.
weren't supposed to. No.
What's the difference between getting chlorine off of you by getting chlorinated water spraying on you versus getting salt off of you by putting water?
Yeah, but you have to think like you're worried about a public pool and the possibility that someone has urinated in said public pool. But I can guarantee you, every fish and shark and whale has just been taking dumps in that ocean for millennia.
Yeah.
And you were okay with that.
But I'm more likely to catch a disease from a person than I am from a trout.
Well, Jim,
That's why I don't take fish medicine. I
Jim
take human medicine.
is eating the hot dog / chili dog 10 feet from you is also probably pissing in the ocean. So
Yeah, but
But there's more water to dilute it.
yeah,
Okay.
that's a huge pool by comparison, and it's an ecosystem that's built to self-handle it.
they just all live in the piss.
Yeah, well, to a degree,
Fine.
but
That's why it's salty.
Yes.
there's something in there that
Via
eats the
piss.
piss. So that's where it's fine. Oh, okay. Anyways, ending on piss. We'll do that.
We're ending it with
so
the whiz.
yes, that will be everything for today's podcast. But just before we end, we have to go through what we drink. So, John, you did bring a fancy drink.
Yeah, I made mulled wine. So
Mulled wine.
Yeah, wine and brandy and sugar and spices, and you get it hot and drink it in a mug.
Yep. He every time he comes here for podcasts, he asks for some strange utensils. So he's like, I need boiling water. And today he's like, I need a pot. Well, it was a pot and what else?
A ladle.
A ladle, yes.
ladle.
So, so it's always something weird. So that was actually really good. It was like super deep red when it was boiled down.
Yep.
That was pretty good. Kyle, what did you
I
have?
drank a little bit of whiskey earlier, but I've actually been drinking more of this less style brandy, which is good. It's the same stuff that he put inside the mulled wine.
Yep.
So it's
But there's
it's a
more
very-
alcohol
it's
because
a
it
very
wasn't
good brandy.
boiling.
And earlier you also had a shot of the Glenmorangie.
I did, yes. Yeah, that was a whiskey. Yeah, the scotch.
So I had some of the John's drink, and then I just had another Indeed Mexican honey beer.
I drank this Rusty Chain cranberry apple from Sociables. There's a happy little man on it working on a bicycle that he is. I think he's working on the bicycle. He has the rear tire between his two legs, and he appears to be turning the rear tire very quickly with a big smile on his face. So
I also love that the can's label is all crunched up like your sock.
it is kind of the label was put on
No,
haphazardly.
that's an oil can. He definitely is. He's straddling that bike.
He is straddling that bike.
Yeah, that's an oil
upside
can
down.
though. He's lubing up the bike while straddling
Of
it.
course.
That is the best way to make sure that the bike doesn't fall over.
also
By lubing it up.
No, by putting it between your legs.
Oh,
Yeah, it also prevents chafing. The oil.
Oh,
But
okay.
Yes. The best way to prevent butt chafing is put a bike between your legs.
I got a chafing problem. Oh, well, do you have some baby powder? No. I need some WD-40.
why are there tire burns on your pants? Never mind that. This is the start of the industrial era.
this is the Industrial Revolution, don't you know?
You couldn't repair a bicycle until you had pants, because doing that without the pants.
Too much chafing.
Yes, that's way too much chafing.
Yeah. No amount of oil can save you.
Anyway, so that'll be it for the podcast. Thanks for hanging out. Michael, what is our last word?
Bibbidi boppity boop. Zargzulami, lamachikabooloo. The thing my father does stop. Bibbidi boppity boop.
Sure.